Hello again, Year 2 candidates. We're now going to take a look at Step 3 of your ILP Phase 3, which is the reflection phase. So you've already worked through Step 1, which is your pre-thinking for your project. Step 2 is then the planning for your project. And then between Steps 2 and 3 would have been the implementation of your project. So if we backward map, ILP Phase 3 is due to be uploaded on March 16th. So that means your project needs to be implemented sometime between most likely mid to late February and early March to mid-March. That way you have the time to then reflect on your project and then upload by the March 16th due date. So in activity 1 of step 3, the reflection phase of the project, you're going to describe the extent to which you believe your goals and objective for the project were met. So this is an honest assessment of the outcomes of your project or event. Did it meet your goals and expectations? This is just where you can write a short narrative describing that. And then in activity 2, this is where you're going to describe the evidence that you collected during your project. Remember, collecting evidence in the form of pictures or work samples or feedback from surveys or written responses. This is very important because, for one, it's what's going to demonstrate for you and explain for you the impact that your project had on your target audience. And it's also this evidence that you're going to need to save so that you can display it during your presentation, your induction presentation near the end of the year, as you talk about your project during the Phase 3 period. And then in activity 3, you will then reflect on the extent to which your project helped you meet that CSTP element 6, that CSTP 6 element growth area that you selected. So go back and take a look at your step 1, look at which element from CSTP 6 or elements you chose to focus on, and reflect. How did your project demonstrate your growth in this area? What are your final thoughts around that? And then your last prompt in ILP Phase 3 is to discuss your plans for future learning. And so what you learned during this project, which implemented your learning from your cycle of inquiry C, how will you use this information in the future? What you learned, is it something that you want to continue to implement? Is it learning that you want to build upon? This is your time to discuss with us just the impact that this project had on you, your stakeholder groups, and your future practice as a teacher. So thank you very much. As always, if you have questions about any part of this project, be sure to contact your program specialist. We'd be glad to help.